Today in the Silly Kitchen, it's all about carrots. I picked up a lot of carrots at the market and I love soup season, so I thought I would show you today all about my favorite carrot soup. It's carrot and ginger, super easy to make, not a lot of ingredients, so here we go. So obviously being carrot soup, let me just open that up. Being carrot soup, we need a lot of carrots. I don't measure, I don't count. I just wash my carrots, and if I want to save some for another meal, then I do. If not, I just use them all. And really easy rough chop on your carrots. Just make sure you give them a good clean, but I don't peel my carrots, I just cut off the ends. And I just make sure that I give them a really good scrubbing to get any excess dirt off or anything that might be on those carrots. But I mean, here I didn't even count how many carrots I bought. I just knew that I had a lot and I wanted to make carrot soup. So now with carrot soup, obviously the primary ingredient is your carrots, but you definitely want some other aromatics as well. So I like to use 2 or 3 onions just to make sure that there's lots of that flavor going on. And then I also have handy some salt and pepper, dry parsley flakes, which I keep in my spice cabinet all the time. It's such an easy little herb. Oh, I dropped a carrot. We'll just let that one be for now. And then I also have some coconut milk set aside for kind of enriching and making the soup a little more creamy without adding heavy cream or any kind of dairy product. So most of my soups are all very vegan friendly because I just like them that way, and I think coconut milk is such a nice ingredient. The other thing that's important in this soup is ginger. So ginger is delicious. It's just this cute little root that you get. And you just peel a little bit of the skin off before we grate it into the soup. But I mean, I know there's a lot of health benefits to ginger. The one thing that I like it for, especially in the fall, is if you are not feeling too well, if you have tummy issues, ginger is known to kind of settle your tummy. That's why a lot of people drink ginger ale if their stomach is upset. But I just love the taste of this soup, so whether I'm feeling great or not great, I like carrot soup. So you just want to make sure that you grate it pretty finely into your soup. It will get cooked out and blended, and it's a pretty strong flavor, ginger. So add as much or as little as you want. I'm gonna do lots because I'm making a big batch of soup here. So just give it a nice grate into your soup. So I'm just putting everything into my soup pot. A lot of people roast their vegetables before making soups, or even kind of do like a little saute before adding liquids. I keep it really easy. I just make sure that I put lots of flavor into it, and everything just goes right into the pot. I'm just gonna finish up this ginger as much as I can and not nick my fingers. Get all those juices in there. It smells amazing. Absolutely love this flavor and smell. Try not to cut your fingers. I'm watching what I'm doing so that I don't do that, even though I'm kind of saying hi to you guys too. Okay, so let's just have enough of that. Get all those good little pieces off here. I just have a tiny little piece left, so no biggie there. Okay, so we've got our carrots and our ginger in there. I definitely want to have a couple of onions. With the amount of carrots that I put in to my pot here, I'm gonna go ahead and add at least 2 onions, maybe 3. I like a lot of onions. I think they give so much flavor in soups. It's kind of a staple, I believe. I mean, I think usually the holy trinity is always your carrots, celery, and onion. I'm not using any celery today. I'm just really bringing out all the flavors of the carrots and adding just a couple other ingredients to make it a perfect fall soup. All right, and our final onion goes in there. We always want to season our soups. You definitely want to add salt and pepper. It's kind of your key ingredients in any cooking, I think. If you don't like a lot of salt, you don't have to. You can also use some low sodium options for your soups, but there's going to be a lot of sweetness in this from the carrots, so I like to make sure that we put salt and pepper in there. The dried parsley flakes, just get a whole bunch of that in your pot. And then, like I said, if you have a homemade vegetable stock or chicken stock, use that. I'm using a store-bought vegetable stock that I like to use. You definitely have options with the variety there. You can also just use water, but there's a bit more flavor when you have a good vegetable stock. Okay, so just pour that all in there. Cover all your carrots and your onions. Now that is 1 box, 1 quart, 4 cups of stock, and it doesn't quite cover all of my vegetables. Now when I'm cooking it, I want all the vegetables kind of covered, so I'm just gonna add a glass of water on top of that. I've put tons of seasoning in there, so that's gonna all kind of swim together in there, bring all the flavors out. So topping it up with water is a great little addition just to put some extra liquid in there. It smells good. So we have carrots, onion, ginger, salt and pepper, parsley flakes, and some water and vegetable stock. Now I do still have 2 ingredients left, which is my coconut milk and my lemon. So I'm gonna leave those until this is all cooked. So right now, all you have to do is put the lid on, put it on high on your stove top, let it bubble and simmer, cook on medium heat or so after it bubbles, and leave it there for 30-40 minutes or so, and then we'll come back and finish up the soup. Okay, so 30-40 minutes have passed. I'm not sure. I went, grabbed a glass of wine, and my soup is hot. Woo! It is ready. The vegetables are gonna be nice and soft. So my favorite tool for any kind of blended soup is an immersion blender. It is so easy because you do it all in one pot. You don't need to transfer anything. You don't need to put it in a blender and then put it back. So my favorite tool to use for any kind of a blended soup, you just put it on top of the vegetables and go. I don't want any chunks left in this soup. So I want to make sure that I get it, whoop, make sure you get it all the way under the water so that you don't get any splashback. And just keep blending and blending until all of your ingredients are all nice and mushy and smooth. It takes probably about 5-6 minutes. Okay. So everything is looking pretty much like there's no big chunks left, but you will see that the consistency isn't quite soupy yet. So this is where your final 2 ingredients come into play. I love coconut milk in soups, so add in 1 can of coconut milk, and that'll make it a little more creamier without having to add milk or dairy or heavy cream. There's a bit of extra calories in heavy cream, so I like the coconut milk because, well, it tastes really good actually. And then half of your lemon gets squeezed in there as well. Lemons are kind of like sunshine, so this goes so well with the ginger and the carrots. You can use obviously something else to juice a lemon, but I just like to use my hand and squeeze it as hard as I can, use my muscles. That's always fun, test out your muscles. And then to finish it off, just give it a little bit more of a, well, I put that on too soon. Give it a little more of a blend just to mix everything together. pretty good about the consistency at this point. So I can put my immersion blender down and make a mess on the table, and I'll clean that up later, whatever. This is the point where you can kind of check out, is this the consistency that I want in my soup? Is it thick enough, thin enough? If you want, you can add a little bit more water if you want to thin it out a little bit. If you want, you can make it even creamier and add a second can of coconut milk. It really all depends how many carrots you really put in there, because that's going to change the volume and kind of the thickness of the soup. I'm really happy with this, so I really like it. As always, there's only one thing left to do, and that is try some soup. So to finish off, I always have to taste what I've made. Make sure that it's delicious. I will save the rest of that for later. And to finish off today's episode, I just wanted to actually give you a quick little tip. If you're making a giant batch of soup like this, instead of trying to figure out where to store it, get yourself a mason jar. I have tons all the time from pickling. Fill these up, 2 or 3 of them, put them in the fridge, do a few in containers for your freezer, and then you have a couple days worth of soup. I hope you try this recipe. Enjoy!